Over the years, Pawn Stars has become one of the highest-watched reality TV shows on the History Channel. With deals worth millions of dollars, each episode has drawn fans from across the globe. But most of the credit goes to the amazing characters cast in the show. Although each character played their roles perfectly, Chumlee always stood out because of his funny demeanor, Gen Z sense of humor, and the overall entertaining role that he played. But he wasn't just a funny face in the show. Throughout his time at the pawn shop, Chumlee has amassed a fortune for himself, and today he is arguably the richest of the whole cast. So how did he make his millions, and where does he spend it all? Let's delve into the details and find out. Born on the 8th of September, 1982, Austin Lee Russell, better known as Chumlee, hails from Henderson, Nevada. From an early age, Chumlee had always shown a keen interest in the art of buying and selling. Growing up in Las Vegas, the city had always been a hub of business, and Chumlee's negotiation skills likely came from that. His family background was completely different, as his father built a career as a DJ and his mother worked in casinos, but Chumlee always had a knack for being a businessman. At a young age, he picked up bartering skills, primarily because he enjoyed the sales side of the world. Little did he know, this fondness for being a salesman would pave the way for his career in the longer run. Chumlee began his career at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop quite some time ago. At the time, there was no TV show planned, but given Chumlee's expertise in negotiation and bartering, he was a great fit for the shop. He shared a childhood friendship bond with Corey Harrison, also known as Big Hoss, and this friendship was Chumlee's ticket into the pawn shop business. Both friends worked in the shop as teenagers, helping Rick and the old man with everyday dealings. It took Chumlee a good 5 years to get a hang of the business. Most of these years were spent behind the counter, where he honed his skills and learned from Rick and the old man until the day cameras came in rolling into the shop. In the early days, Chumlee was never made the face of the show. He stayed in the background, dealing with customers who did not come in with items worthy of being shown on the TV screen. However, he had a natural way with customers which never went unnoticed. But the competition was still high, and his place in the show was not guaranteed. At the inception of the show, nearly 10 employees fought for their place in the show, hoping to come into the limelight. Chumlee's position as a salesman who often worked in the background did not make him a top contender. However, he did have a great friendship with Corey, the son of the pawn shop owner, and without a doubt, he used this to his advantage. This plan worked, and Chumlee's spot in the TV show was finalized. His sassy demeanor, sense of humor, and the playful banter made him a star in the eyes of the directors, and everyone knew that his character would become a massive hit. Certainly enough, Chumlee became the favorite character of many, giving his role a boost. Chumlee gambled on himself, showcasing his true self in front of the cameras, and this created a path of success for him that he never imagined. In 2009, when the first episode of the Pawn Stars aired on the History Channel, it changed Chumlee's life forever, and his easygoing personality became an instant hit, and the reviews shocked everyone after they realized that had they missed out on casting Chumlee, the show might not have become popular at this insane pace. But his journey was never an easy one. Despite being a man of many talents, Chumlee did not possess an intricate knowledge of antiquities, science, or many of the other items that came in the shop regularly. Because of this, he was always targeted by his co-workers, often labeling him as the village idiot. Despite the playful jabs, Chumlee never gave up, because he knew that one day his talent would come to light. In the Pinball Wizards episode from the early seasons of the show, Chumlee finally came in clutch. He portrayed his deep understanding and knowledge of pinball machines, surprising even his childhood friend Corey. From here on, Chumlee's talents were finally recognized by everyone in the shop, and he became the go-to guy for any video games-related deals. But this wasn't the only area where Chumlee shined. In the episode Never Surrender, Chumlee also tackled a gas-powered toy car repair, showcasing that he had a wide spectrum of expertise in just the right things. Moreover, he also has a keen eye for sneakers, especially limited edition shoes, such as rare pairs of Jordans. In the episode Honest Abe, Chumlee identified a fake pair of Air Jordan 5 sneakers, helping the pawn shop stay safe from buying a pair that held no value. In one memorable episode of the show, Chumlee took a bold step and secured his first significant deal involving a trio of samurai swords. Although he examined the swords with great care, Chumlee made the risky decision not to consult an expert or seek advice from Rick or Corey to confirm their authenticity and value. Trusting his instincts, Chumlee, ever the daring and spontaneous character, decided to place a hefty $4,000 bet on the swords, hoping to turn a substantial profit for the shop. When Corey and Rick discovered that Chumlee had made such a large, unverified purchase, they were furious. Concerned about the potential loss, they quickly brought in Mike, a respected expert on samurai swords and ancient artifacts, to assess the situation. Much to Rick's surprise and to Chumlee's relief, Mike appraised the swords at a value exceeding $13,000, revealing that two of the swords dated back to the late 1400s and early 1500s. This deal not only helped Chumlee redeem himself in the eyes of his bosses, but also demonstrated that he possessed the ability to negotiate, identify, and successfully flip valuable and rare items. The unexpected success of this deal earned Chumlee a newfound respect, proving that his intuition and skills were a valuable asset to the shop. Since then, Chumlee started to make massive deals, and at one point he even sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of swords to the legendary Dana White. In another captivating episode, Chumlee found himself at the center of a high-stakes situation involving an exceptionally valuable Japanese sword owned by Rick Harrison. Despite repeated warnings from Rick to keep this prized possession off the market, Chumlee made the spontaneous decision to sell the sword when a notable customer entered the store. That customer was none other than Dana White, the president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Given White's status as a high-profile figure with deep pockets, Chumlee knew that turning away such a client would be a mistake, especially when he was clearly ready to spend big. Recognizing that Dana White, a wealthy man with a passion for collecting old samurai swords, was the ideal buyer for Rick's forbidden sword, Chumlee acted swiftly. Without informing Rick, he sold the sword to Dana White for an impressive $30,000. But Chumlee didn't stop there. He continued to negotiate with Dana White and, in the same transaction, successfully sold several more swords, bringing the total sale to a staggering $60,000. This lucrative deal not only demonstrated Chumlee's ability to recognize and secure high-profile clients, but also highlighted his skill in negotiating with them on their level. The deal even led to an unexpected opportunity for Rick Harrison, who, thanks to Chumlee's initiative, got the chance to meet Dana White in person. Leveraging his decades of experience, Rick managed to convince White to purchase an additional $9,000 worth of swords, further sweetening the deal. Chumlee's handling of the situation proved that he had a keen eye for opportunity and the talent to execute complex deals. This episode was a testament to his growing prowess in the art of negotiation and client relations, showing that Chumlee had much more to offer than initially met the eye. Apart from this, Chumlee time and again proved to everyone that he was not just a funny face in the show, but he also had a lot of valuable knowledge to share. Because of his amazing role in the show, Pawn Stars brought Chumlee to massive fame, and with that, his doors into the world of entrepreneurship also opened. He built a business of designing and selling novelty items such as t-shirts and other trendy clothing, a business which boomed immediately. He often made appearances and connected with his customers, giving them a sense of exclusivity. The business model worked so well that Rick Harrison bought half of Chumlee's company in 2010 for $155,000, helping Chumlee efficiently handle the large influx of orders and demand for his merchandise. Chumlee immediately went from being a behind-the-scenes pawn shop employee to a successful businessman, but this was just the beginning for him. He knew the potential he had, and running a mid-sized merchandise business was just a healthy start. Throughout this journey of entrepreneurship, Chum never gave up on the pawn shop. After all, it was the platform that rose him to fame and helped him become a celebrity. He embraced his on-screen persona, used his newly acquired celebrity status, and paired it with his knowledge of the latest trends to capitalize on his own status. Soon afterward, Chumlee opened his own candy store near the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop and named it Chumlee's Candy on the Boulevard. In 2011, he also won the BMI TV Music Award, further solidifying his celebrity status. This was also one of his first major achievements, and following this, he only touched new heights of success. He even received the honor of a Daytime Emmy Award nomination, further cementing his status within television. Realizing his wide spectrum of talents, He also explored various other avenues, such as getting into mainstream TV shows such as iCarly. He also tried his hand at baking, in Baking with Chumlee, and eventually he landed a small role in the 2017 film The Polka King. Since he was always fond of cars and Rick Harrison, his boss, had a friendship with Danny Coker at Counting Cars, Chumlee also starred in some episodes there, but this wasn't it for him. He even enrolled in DJ school, pursuing his love for music and honing his skills at the turntables. He made several appearances as a DJ, and with the attention he garnered, he expressed interest in becoming a talent scout for aspiring musicians out of Las Vegas. His desire to expand his influence in the music industry was quite serious, but it never worked out as well as Chumlee would have liked. Success quickly came in for him, and with that, it was time for him to finally take on the route of a healthy lifestyle. Chumlee always struggled with weight, and so did Corey. However, Corey worked hard to bring himself into shape, and this inspired Chumlee. If his friend could do it, why couldn't he? This question forced Chumlee to embark on a healthy journey, giving up junk food, drinks, and fast food altogether. He also started exercising regularly, determined to shed as much fat as he could. Within a few months, Chumlee lost nearly 100 pounds, and he turned into a new person. Unfortunately, he could not maintain this healthy lifestyle. As time went by, it became increasingly difficult for him to avoid unhealthy food, and by 2016, he had regained 50 pounds. The loss and gain pattern fluctuated for quite some time, but for the most part, Chumlee was indulging in unhealthy activities, making him only gain more weight. In 2019, his weight peaked at a shocking 350 pounds. He once again realized that losing this weight is imperative because at such a young age, he could not afford to fall into health problems due to obesity. However, going back to the gym, cutting down on food, and changing his lifestyle once again was not an easy task. Therefore, in 2021, Chumlee made the harsh decision of opting for gastric sleeve surgery. Despite the risks, Chumlee knew that it was the only way he could lose weight quickly and efficiently. The procedure was designed to shrink the stomach, reduce appetite and hunger, and eventually enable rapid fat loss. After a long struggle and hard work, Chumlee lost over 160 pounds, stabilizing his weight at 190 and maintaining it. Apart from his health struggles and business ventures, Chumlee's life also came with a lot of legal trouble. He often faced scrutiny from the public because of the controversies that surrounded him, and at one point things started to get out of hand. On the 9th of March, 2016, the police raided Chumlee's home after a woman made allegations against him for sexual assault. The allegations against him were strong, but what came next was something Chumlee never would have expected in wildest dreams. During the raid, the police discovered several drugs in his home, including marijuana, Xanax, and methamphetamine. Along with that, large sums of cash were also recovered, and the police suspected that this may have been drug money. There were also several unregistered firearms found in his house, including pistols, rifles, and shotguns. All of these offenses fell under the felony category, and Chumlee's legal troubles started to become public news. He was immediately arrested from his house and charged with 20 felony counts, including the possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell and possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. This arrest made headlines, and a decline in Chumlee's life began. After over 2 months of investigations, Chumlee finally struck a plea deal to avoid jail time. He pleaded guilty to a single felony weapons charge and a misdemeanor charge for drug possession. As a result, he was sentenced to 3 years of probation, and attending counseling was made mandatory for him. He managed to stay out of prison, but given the strict probationary conditions he had to stay in, this was a particularly difficult time for him. He paid a massive $62,000 in bail, and with that, his image in the public was permanently damaged. Everyone knew Chumlee to be a lighthearted, humorous person. And when these realities became public, Chumlee's life was overshadowed by the revolting controversies. In 2019, it was reported that Chumlee had finally completed his probation, and with no incidents involved during this time, it is likely that his felony charge was reduced to a misdemeanor, because that was included in the plea deal. He returned to Pawn Stars after that, and since then, he kept a relatively low profile. Although the sexual assault charges were dropped because of a lack of evidence, his legal troubles with drugs and weapons made him face a lot of scrutiny. Nevertheless, this bad phase does not define who he is as a person. In 2014, Chumlee showed how big of a heart he has when he played a leading role in raising funds and awareness for autism research at the annual Anti-Up for Autism event. Moreover, he continued to make his candy store business successful after his legal troubles ended. He operated the store with his brother Sage, and using his position at the pawn shop, he brought in customers, offering them a sugar rush. Moreover, his shop's strategic location directly opposite the gold and silver pawn shop helped him significantly in attracting both tourists and customers of the pawn shop. Throughout his career, Chumlee has faced a lot of issues, be it the weight management problems, being undermined by his colleagues, or facing felony charges. Yet, he always found a way out and stepped back into the limelight by mending his ways, changing his lifestyle, and becoming a better version of himself. Because of these characteristics, Chumlee has amassed a ton of wealth, making him one of the richest members of the Pawn Stars cast. His intricate knowledge of the latest trends, video games, pop culture, and vehicles made him an irreplaceable member of the pawn shop. Alongside that, his entrepreneurial skills turned his merchandise and candy businesses into highly profitable sources of income, helping him accumulate a net worth of $5 million. His story is one of resilience and determination. Once, he was just a funny face in the show, the village idiot, who had no knowledge of the items that came into the shop. But today, he has proven that his skills and business acumen are unmatched. Despite the ups and downs in his life, he has remained resilient and dedicated to himself, turning himself into a great person and an even better businessman. What do you think of Chumlee's amazing life story? Do you think he was one of the best characters on the Pawn Stars? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so you are notified as soon as we upload our next video. Thanks for watching.